I'm gonna go on ahead and cut to the chase just to save some time. This is my second time, so I'm gonna go on ahead and give all praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation, seeing that I don't come in my own name. And what is his name? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Warakakwadash. Peace, blessings, and much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons and daughters also. The water to Yahushai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. I have an article pulled up. It was posted on September 10th, 2024 at 1:44 p.m. World War III fears as key Putin ally threatens irreversible catastrophe as tensions rise. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has vowed to continue building up his country's nuclear arsenal as a deterrent to the grave threat posed by the U.S. and its allies. So the spirit of warfare is not letting up. It's all boiling down to the end of Esau's kingdom. The dictator made the claims during a speech to commemorate the 76th anniversary of the country's founding, as he pledged to forge ahead with efforts to maintain the country's defense. The United Nations has sanctioned the country over the expansion of its nuclear program with, it's a weird word, Pyongyang ensuring the right to establish itself as a nuclear power in its constitution last year. In the speech, Kim said as the reckless expansion of the military bloc system led by the U.S. and its development into the character of a nuclear-based military bloc, the military security environment around the DPRK, which means Democratic People's Republic of Korea, has come close to us at a grave threat. Mr. Kim promised to steadily strengthen its nuclear capabilities to the point that they are able to cope with any threatening actions by its nuclear armed rival states. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has the spirit of warfare in the air. He's allowing different nations, and right now, speaking of North Korea, to get their sword sharpened. They're getting their nuclear arsenal in order in preparations to eventually destroy Babylon the Great, because that's what's in the Bible. Let's go to Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So the prophets, our job is to come out here and prophesy against great kingdoms, letting people know that whatever the message may be that's given to us from the Heavenly Father, we have to let you know directly and correctly what it's going to be. America's going to be destroyed according to the Holy Bible. And the reason why Kim Jong-un is getting his nuclear arsenal sharpened, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, is because it all leads to the end of Babylon, which is going to happen during World War III. Now I'm going to read an article going into World War III a little more. So this was also posted on September 10th of 2024 at 4:50 p.m. World War III fears explode after Russian drones violate NATO airspace in two countries. Let's go back to Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. I'm not out here speaking of peace. I'm not out here speaking of how great things are going to be in this kingdom. I'm out here speaking against this kingdom because in the Holy Bible it lets you know that America, being a great kingdom, is going to be destroyed. And that's why there's so much talk in the air of World War III, because it's biblical prophecy that America would be destroyed. America would be wiped off the face of the map completely and forever. The prophet which prophesied the peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh hath truly sent him. So I'm not out here speaking of peace. And if you don't believe in the message, you'll believe in the message once you find out no peace is coming, but rather destruction. The Lord is coming to bring great evil, and he's getting these different countries, these different nations in preparations for Babylon's end. Okay? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this is going into ancient warfare, into modern warfare. Ancient warfare, you know, you'd hear sword clashing against sword, sword clashing against a shield, okay? You hear people screaming from being stabbed up, okay? You hear horses galloping. You hear a lot of confused noise, but in this warfare coming, it's going to be with thermonuclear destruction. It's going to be fought differently. And that's going to bring in the end of America. Okay? That's what we're telling you. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So America's going to be destroyed with fuel of fire. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23. And verse 16. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of the Lord. So if anyone's telling you Babylon the Great is not America, or if they're telling you that America's going to thrive, or they're telling you that you should pray for America, they're giving you false hope. They're speaking out of their own imagination. Because according to the Holy Bible, it's already prophesied, it's already predestined, it's already written that America would be destroyed. And I know a lot of people are offended by that. Thus said the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of the Lord. Okay? So a lot of men are speaking lies. They're not giving our people this truth. And this is a very frivolous time, or really, you know, it's pretty much a very stupid time, a very unwise time. It's very out of season to be a man speaking wickedness and lies right now, because we are definitely in those times. Verse 17, they say still unto them that despise me, the Lord hath said, ye shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walketh after the evil imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. But guess what's going to happen? Cataclysm or sudden destruction is going to be laid upon you Israelites, because for far too long you've been putting off the Lord from day to day. You've been acting as if the information that we've been bringing unto you isn't worth anything. You look at it as invaluable. You look at it as a waste of time. You feel like you have better things to do. Okay? But guess what? If you don't have Yahweh Shai, you're not going to be justified or vindicated. You're going to be left here and melted. Okay? they say still unto them that despise me, the Lord hath said, ye shall have peace. And they said unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. So seeing that our people have been deceived and they feel like no evil is going to come upon them, well, sudden destruction is going to fall upon our people. Okay? A great cataclysm is going to fall upon you Israelites out of nowhere, although we've been warning you and letting you know. Okay? Revelations. Revelations chapter 11 and verse 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, which is going to be caused by that thermonuclear destruction. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city, speaking of all of America, because America has been broken down into 10 parts by FEMA, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, which goes into a complete number of people that are set up, that are created to be destroyed in nuclear destruction. And the remnant were affrighted, going into the elect, and gave glory to the power of heaven. So right now, we should be in the spirit of hastening in the day. We should be in the spirit of wanting things to come. Not be in the spirit of doubting or being discouraged, or be in the spirit of being double-minded, but rather be in the spirit of hope and being encouraged. But a lot of our people, they're ambivalent, they're double-minded. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven. And nuclear destruction's coming. That's why that article that I read, the headline says, World War III, fears explode after Russian drones violate NATO airspace in 2 countries. So a lot of violations are happening. A lot of things are leading to what? World War III, which we're currently in it, but it's going to get worse. It's going to get to the point where it erupts with nuclear conflict. That's what we're coming into. This is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 33. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So Yahweh Shai isn't coming to bring peace. He's coming to bring a sword. He's coming to bring destruction. That's why you're hearing about so much chaos. You're hearing about so much division. You're hearing about world leaders speaking on warfare, speaking on intensifying in their arsenal, speaking on multiplying in military, because we're in that time. America is destined to be destruction, or destined to be destroyed, doomed for destruction. For I am come to set man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. A lot of people get offended. We're talking about death and destruction. We're talking about if you don't get right, you're going to be destroyed. We're talking about separating from this world. Well, a lot of people, they don't understand the importance of that. A lot of people think that's weird. We got a chariot hovering in the sky. Check this out. It stopped. I'll leave it there for a second, but I'm going to keep on reading the scriptures. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father and the daughter, against her mother and the daughter-in-law, against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. You might have your biological children live with you. They may believe or they may not. They might be divided from you. Your own father and mother. They may believe or they may not. They may be divided from you. Okay, but Yahweh Shai, he is coming to bring division. A lot of people, they look at Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, as if he's coming to unite everybody. But that's a satanic doctrine. He's actually coming to bring division. He's only coming for the elect of Israel. All right? I'm going to turn it back. It stopped. I thought it was going to keep flying. Second Peter chapter 3. Second Peter chapter 3 and verse 3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts. So you have a lot of people mocking, thinking that this is a joke because they're following after their own imagination. There's another chariot hovering. Come on now. Check this out. All right, I'm going to leave it there and let it do its thing. All right, but it tells you here in these last days there's going to be scoffers, people walking after their own imagination. That's why they don't believe, okay? That's why they think what we're doing is a joke. Let's see if I can zoom in more. So as much as people mock and scoff, you got to answer for things like this, you know? Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. So a lot of people, they don't believe that the Lord is returning. A lot of people have given up. A lot of people, you know, they'll act like they believe in the Messiah, but they really don't. Yeah, I don't see it no more. But you know what? You saw it. You know? So you got to witness two of them. Get this adjusted right quick. Yeah, that one's gone now. I don't see it anymore. 2 Peter 3 and 5. For this they willingly are ignorant, that by the word of the power, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. Well, the world is going to perish by fire this time, but not all the world, just parts of the world. But in specifically, more specifically, speaking of America, America's going to be destroyed completely. Let's jump down. Verse 11. seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. So all these different elements that you see are going to be dissolved. You know, all these people who aren't written in the book of life, all these different cars and buildings, everything here in America is going to be totally wiped away. What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So we want to make sure that our conversation is on point. We want to keep our conversation in the heavens and not get caught up in the lust of this world like niggas do. You'll see a group of men and they're talking about how fat this woman's ass is, knowing she has a whole husband next to her. Okay? Or plotting on how to break in Nene's house. We got to have holy conversation. We got to speak uprightly because we're at the end and we don't want to be judged and given the reward of the wicked. We want to be judged and given a righteous reward. Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the power, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So what is going to be the cause of these elements dissolving? What's going to happen? Well, thermonuclear missiles are going to be shot from different continents, and they're going to come over here to America. Okay? That's why we have to be aware. Let's go to Luke chapter 21. In verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting, and drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that the day come upon you unawares. And we don't want the day to come upon us unawares. We want to be on point. We don't want Yahweh Shai to return to us like a thief in the night. There's a chariot right above me too. Let me see if I can get it. I'm not trying to keep stopping the lesson, but I just keep seeing them. My angle won't go that high. I'd have to take my phone off. It's all good though. You just have to take my word for it. Or don't, you know, that's fine too. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Why? Because these people are not looking forward to the Lord's return. They might mention it. They might say stupid things like, oh, you know, I can't wait for the rapture. But in reality, they're not even looking. They're not doing anything that the Lord is asking them to do. They're just talking. A lot of people claim to want to see our Lord and Savior return, but they don't know what that really means. They don't know what that comes with. That comes with not only deliverance, it comes with a great destruction. Let's go to Amos. Chapter 5 and verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yahweh is darkness and not light. So the day of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai is not going to be a day of peace, love, and hair grease. It's not going to be a day where everybody is, you know, handing out, you know, notes to each other about, you know, how we should get along and dance in a circle and talk about how we can go on a nice vacation and talk about kumbaya, kumbaye. No, we're coming into a time where there's going to be a great deliverance, but also a great destruction. The Lord is bringing a division, okay? That's what people have to understand. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Now, that's not speaking of the men of the Lord, because the men of the Lord, they're desiring the day of the Lord. But this is speaking to those who are hypocrites. They're desiring the day of the Lord, but they're not doing what he says. So ultimately, the day of the Lord for them is going to be their doom. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. So Yahweh Shai is coming to bring a whole lot of evil to the world, man. Okay? Right along with the thermonuclear missiles. This is the book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 8. According as it is written, the power hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. So the majority of Israelites, they're in a deep sleep. They're slumbering spiritually. And that's why they're not able to understand, the message that I'm bringing out, which is ultimately the message of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? According as it is written, the power hath given them the spirit of slumber. And the reason why is because our people are very nefarious, very, very sinful, very wicked. Our people are blocked by their own wickedness. According as it is written, the power hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. And that's why we've been relegated and banished out of Jerusalem. Because our people, they're in a deep sleep. Our people aren't doing what the Lord is asking them to do. That's why we've been brought down so low. But we're about to be brought back up, starting with the elect of Israel. Hence, that's why we're in World War III. Okay? Find this scripture. And as much as people scoff and scorn, it's funny how they just ignore the simple fact all these things are happening around them, and they're acting like these things aren't happening. That's how the Lord has put the blinders on most people. So ultimately, when destruction comes, these people will be removed. They'll be wiped off the face of the earth. They have to go. Most people, to just be honest with you, they're just in the way. All right? This is Jeremiah. I know I'm close to it. Jeremiah chapter 25 and verse 32. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. And that evil is speaking of thermonuclear missiles. And a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, speaking of that nuclear blast. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. And this is speaking of during World War III. The judgment of the Lord, the time of the Lord's return. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. There's going to be too many people dying to have people crying for those who get put to death. There's going to be too many people getting judged to be focused on people getting put to death. They're not going to have any burial. There's not going to be any funeral service. There ain't going to be no last moments where you mourn and get RIP t-shirts and all the above, man. And these times to come, there's going to be so much death and destruction, there's not going to be anybody getting buried out here. Okay? They're just going to be laid out like you would see dung on the ground. If you were on a farm, the same way you'd see cows dung, or if you own pets, if you have a dog, the same way you see dog dung on the ground, that's how you're going to see people's bodies laid out in these days to come. Okay? Them thermonuclear missiles are going to do a lot of devastating destruction on top of other things coming with it. Proverbs chapter 15. I do have to cut this lesson pretty short because I got out here later than usual. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 10. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth reproof shall die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more than the hearts of the children of men? So Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, he controls the thoughts of men. And that's why these rumors of warfare are in the air. Because the Lord is putting it in the thoughts of men to go to war. You know, all this is the Lord's doing. This isn't some man-made thing. People may look at it down here and think, oh, you know, men are destructive. You know, men are causing warfare, when really the Lord is the one behind the scenes that you don't see, who is conjuring up the spirit of warfare, because he is a spirit, a power that's causing division in the earth. Okay, a huge division in the earth. That's why such a catastrophic moment is soon to take place on the soils of the world like never before. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more than the hearts of the children of men? So Yahweh by Shem Yahushai controls the thought of man. Seeing that he's a man of war, Exodus chapter 15 in verse 3, the Lord is a man of war, the Lord is his name, which shows you what? The Lord is a man, and he's a man of war. So seeing that we're in war, you're hearing rumors of war, you might pray against it and say it's wrong, and you hope not. Well, the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is to increase warfare, because this war that's going on, okay, is leading to the deliverance of the elect of Israel, the elect of Jacob. Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 30. In vain have I smitten your children. They receive no correction. Your own sword hath devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. O generation, see ye the word of the Lord Yahweh. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are lords, we will come no more unto thee. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. So our people don't even consider Yahweh. The Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son isn't even in the minds of our people. Our people have just totally casted off the Lord, man. Acting like the Lord hasn't done all these great things for our people. Acting like you're worthy. Okay? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is really fed up with you wicked Israelites. He's tired of how you treat him. That's why judgment has to come. Because you Israelites, you're not right, man. You're just not right. Why trimmest thou way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. And our people want to blend in with this world. You want to be like these heathen. That's why you trim your ways to seek love. You walking around with a fake smile, but you're mad, you're angry, you're depressed, you're behind on bills, you know, you got bad credit. But then when you get amongst these heathen, you walking around with a fake smile. You scared to be who you are. You scared to be yourself. Trimming yourself to seek love from a race of people, a nation of people that don't love you, that don't care about you. In fact, they hate you. Starting with Esau on the way down to the way, on the way down, on the way, man, my tongue, man, all the way down to the rest of these heathen. All right? It's crazy. Like, I can speak okay until I start teaching. I start teaching, all of a sudden I'm stuttering, man. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, in verse 20. I'm gonna end up just wrapping it up though. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds as from a well-drawn bow, and they shall fly to the mark. Because the chariots are also going to get busy on this place. So when you think of World War III, don't just think of the nuclear missiles being sent off only. Okay? The chariots are going to be getting busy. They're going to be zapping people, buildings, cars, whatever, man. Okay? That's what's coming. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts, or the laser beams, go abroad, and from the clouds, or the chariots, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark. And hailstones, speaking of nuclear missiles, full of wrath, shall be cast as out of a stone bow, speaking of the silos. And the water of the sea, speaking of people, shall rage against them, and the floods shall cruelly drown them, speaking of the lake of fire. Okay? So if our people aren't written in the book of life, well, there's a possibility they're going to be casted in the lake of fire. And the reason why I say possibility is because a lot of people aren't even going to make it that far. A lot of people are going to be put to death before the nuclear missiles and the chariots even show up. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, man, and make it short. You know, Lord willing, I'm going to get out here tomorrow and do this again. I'm going to give all praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation. And what is his name? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Warakapadat. Until next time, Shalom. I'm going to see if I can grab this chariot right above me. It's literally right above me. See it? Shalom.